Greetings, precious, magnificent, divine being that you are, eternally. You remember that and never forget it. I know I never introduced myself because I'm not the name, but I go by Terry Cole-Whittaker. And it is such a pleasure to be able to share with you like this in a way that is available for everyone who possibly can use this magnificent knowledge and empower and enrich themselves to be who they really fully are, to be beautiful, them to the full. That's all you have to do. Now, and how you get in touch with me, Terry at terrycolewhitaker.com, and I do the counseling on a love offering basis. For what works for you, I want it to, that will work for me, because I want you to have this. It's the greatest work in the world, because it's all about you, and you are an eternal being. And the sooner you get that understanding and knowing, you don't die. You didn't just all of a sudden enter here from nowhere out of what? Magic hat like a rabbit? Don't believe magic. Magic is always illusion. Always, so is witchcraft. It's always illusion. It's all, and they say, oh, there's good witches and bad witches and good warlocks and bad. These are labels and titles. This is not who you are. And whenever you take on a title, the tendency you take on whatever that title is telling you, and then people believe you are. That's why I say, you know, why there's this, the Queen of England is the so-called queen, is because she thinks she is, and then everybody else thinks she is. What does that mean? Well, she's superior and more able and could do this, and because God said, well, who's God? Well, the church told me. Well, who's the guy in the church? Oh, he's the one that appointed that person. They're working together in a crime family. Thank you. So once you start getting all this stuff, start realizing, it doesn't mean you throw out the teachings completely. Don't do that. That's the plan, is when you see a fallacy, the tendency, I'll throw the whole thing away. Because I remember that when I was taking philosophy, I thought it was kind of stupid, that if you made one mistake in what you were saying, threw the whole thing out, everything out. Well, only if that mistake altered the basic premise of it, of the power is within you, and it is you, and that's what you're part of. So I just got to get back to what the topic is, and it's always how to always have more than enough. How to always have more, because the tendency is just to say enough. That appears like it's a limited amount, but it isn't. But here's the key. This is the mind talking to you. And what it is the mind operates on duality, because it's a split. It's a aberration of your true state of knowing. And when we are in the mind that is driven consciousness, we never have enough, because it's built on duality of enough and not enough. So therefore, we believe that others have enough, but we don't have enough. Or they have more and we have less. Well, this is how a duality operates. And it operates on, in a sense, this equals that, but it isn't identical with that. It appears to be opposite, but it works in unison as one machine generated, the mind. And when we're mind driven, that means driven by the concepts and beliefs that we have been taught through language and numbers and meanings, definitions, all part of the system that we are then believing that we are in. When we're not in it, it is in our consciousness, in our awareness, that we have accepted as a true reality, when, let us call it a movie, all full sensory, live action movie. And then everybody's taking a part, playing a role in a script, but where does this come through? It comes through the mind. And therefore, the mind then becomes God, the one dictating, and so for people who then conjure these up, because it's a hypnotic trance, into these various realities that people identify with, going through all of these experiences in a physical body. And then when they leave that concept and drop that concept that it's gone, they're there in their astral body. Many are longing to get back into the physical reality to take on that concept again of birth and death. And so what happens is you keep feeding that same system repetitively. When you take back your powers, what you're doing is to know you always have enough, is that you are enough. And enough is an absolute that doesn't need qualification. But yet, in order for many of us to accept that, the mind will keep saying, well, that's limited, that's limited, that's limited. No, that's the absolute. There is no limitation or lack in the absolute. And we are the absolute. That's who you are. Now, when you take back your powers, this is my work, is to support you in the full restoration of all your divine powers and abilities of who you really are. And so I make my counseling available, and my retreats and workshops here at Shasta are very reasonable. There's also camping for people that want to do that, but you're making your pilgrimage. There's also people I work with on a continual basis in a more of the mentoring process, which is a person who has a set thing that they want to accomplish and want to do, and then I work with them on that and do that. So you contact me through, Terry at Cole-Whittaker.com, or you will see on the website, you will have the various places, and I ask that you donate and you contribute what you can to this being available for people everywhere, so that everybody and anyone can have this. And when you desire that, you can know that if your mind brings up, well, what a competition, I don't want anybody to have this, that is not you. And in this, you do not honor the mind. You honor yourself. And therefore, you acknowledge your position as an eternal divine being with all divine powers, abilities, not person and everything that you are. And you are so awesome, and what we are part of. AI, IT, all these are penny ante nothings. All of these are reincarnation. These are just things going on in the mind. And this is such a huge thing because people make it huge, but could be just a screen with pixels. Anyway, my darling, who you are is beyond words, but yet we have words to use to help us recover, and not recover, but uncover, to take forth and be who we are. Now, thank you for your contribution and helping this to be available to everyone. Thank you.